Out here kind of checking out one of the bedding areas I actually made last year. It really worked out for deer season this year. Is primarily 4 does, and it held the does really well. But I've kind of been opening it up a little more, doing some hinge cutting and also just felling trees, especially oaks. And I'm also kind of cutting up a lot of them for firewood, and it's a win-win. Get some firewood and also create better deer habitat. But like I said, they related to this bedding area pretty well throughout this season, but I'm trying to make it even better. One of the biggest things you want to do whenever you're trying to create bedding in a woods area is open up the canopy. As you can see, there's a pretty decent amount of sunlight that can hit the floor now, and with that we're going to get all kinds of regeneration and cover. Speaking of cover, one issue we have here on our property, this 52 acres, we have a bunch of hickory, and all of our timber is it's too bunched together. It kind of looks thick from a human eye, but it's really not good. It's crowding out the good producers that are oaks, and there's also persimmons, and there's plum trees, other things like that in the woods. But don't ever feel bad about cutting down an oak. Here's a good example. We've got a hickory, post oak, post oak, post oak, post oak, post oak. There's one over there. Well, whichever of these trees produces best, it's not going to be able to stand up to its potential because it's crowded out. So that's also something else I'm kind of working on, is trying to release trees, so to speak. That way they can produce their full potential. Also, I did some hinge cutting here. This is primarily for blocking. It's also going to help me access stands even better down here at the bottom. Anytime I get any kind of like a westerly wind, I'll primarily hunt down here, and I can access down on our fence and come up. So whenever I have deer bedded up here, they won't be able to see me, smell me, anything like that. So it's really working out pretty well, but you can always make it better. This is one of several bedding areas I've made. You can't, to an extent, you can especially get does to somewhat bed where you want to, but they also, one of the most important things is they always typically bed in relation to food. So we have this kind of set up to our advantage, to where the food plots are strategic as well as the bedding area. One of the biggest things though is access. If you can't get to your stand without spooking deer, good luck. But with hinge cutting or any kind of TSI, if you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. It can be very dangerous. Definitely keep safety in mind. Another thing I've done throughout here is a lot of these hickories and even some oaks, I did hack and squirt, where you actually, use an axe, hit that tree, and squirt it with a herbicide. That will kill the tree, and it will slowly start to fall down. Any kind of big trees, especially in high traffic areas, you probably don't want to go that route, because that thing could be like a ticking time bomb, and definitely don't want it to fall on you. But a lot of these trees that I actually did the hack and squirt on are very small diameter, and also far away from any of our access or trails. But with that, we're still going to get a lot of this standing timber down through here, but it's still going to open up the canopy to where I don't have a huge mess of trees falling down, but I still get that regeneration coming from the sunlight hitting the forest floor. So I'm also cleaning up a lot of this. Some of these areas, it's kind of got a little too brushy. I want it thick, but if a deer has a really hard time moving through here, it's, they're going to try to avoid the area. But this is just some of what I'm doing, and hope y'all kind of learned something today. If you have any questions, just contact me. Y'all have a blessed day.